Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings 2026, where we talk film and TV with oldies in the mix. We chat all things actors from Mel Gibson to Ice Cube, cause at the Outcast Creative we got the coolest panel on YouTube. Every Tuesday evening we start at 9 UK time. We cover all the genres from sci-fi to true crime. Our super cool panel rates the latest releases along with older cool films like The Wild Geese. The Maker Lens is leading the way, along with Lord Toxic, who is possibly gay. Artist Rebel Rose will be holding court, while Lance's cousin Nana will be updating her latest archaeological report. Enzo still showing Oz crack while eating Mexican food. Love and bastard, he will never be rude. With Inside Man and Blue, call a loser downright to party while Trita Coel commands an army of hairy spiders. Occasional special guests like Retro and Drinker popping in the door. We're an open channel, you all know the score. All other YouTubers are welcome here, so don't be afraid to pull on our ear. Hail the chat, we love you chiming in. You never know what day you might be asked to jump in. Only all you Nielsen rated. Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings 2026, where we talk film and TV with oldies in the mix. We chat all things actors from Mel Gibson to Ice Cube. There's up at Check You, the other cool found on YouTube. Every Tuesday evening we start at 9 UK time. We cover all the genres from sci-fi to true crime. Our super cool panel rates the latest releases along with older cool films like The Wild Geese.
Hello. Here I am on a cold Tuesday night, which is why I'm wearing a onesie and really looking rather unfashionable. But, you know, needs must, practical and all that. A very special edition of the Nielsen Ratings tonight, because we will be dedicating a reasonable portion of the show to the late, great actor Robert Duvall. I mean, what a phenomenal talent. Probably unequaled in terms of character actors in the movie industry. I don't think I can think of another actor who had a more successful career, did more fantastic, wide-ranging and nuanced performances. And he had a good innings at 95, but nevertheless, a sad occasion to lose such a tremendous talent who's been in so many films that I've loved. So we will be talking about him a bit later on after we've covered some of the latest releases with my regular co-host Enzo and others. How's it going, man?
It's chilling. How are you?
Excellent. I'm glad I'm not the only one who looks slightly disheveled. So that's as you're on camera, I feel I should be as well.
Yeah. Plus, you're not used to me being in light with the camera so close to my face.
Actually, yeah, where are you? This is a very different setting, and you don't normally have like these things behind you.
I'm at the library in Austin. You know, I'm in the study. I have two backdrops. Sometimes I'm in the cave, and sometimes I'm in Austin in this room.
Okay, fantastic. Also, to add a bit of glamour to the proceedings, Anna's in the house. Archaeologist extreme. How are you?
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Hope you had a good one.
Yeah, no comment. On that subject of heightened romance, the man who is the master of romance, Northern English Bastard, is here. How are you?
Hey, you beautiful bastards. Yeah. And by the way, in case you ask, Valentine's Day was well. We watched True Romance. The best romantic film ever.
Good choice. The person who sent me the biggest Valentine's card of all still hasn't arrived yet, but I'm told it's on his way. Lord Toxic is also here.
You bet your ass it's on its way.
Okay, good. Oh, so well delivered. Perfect tone. Good to have you back. Right, so we're going to, like I said, we are going to talk about Robert Duvall in a little bit, but I want to cover some of the latest releases first, and maybe a couple of choices of my panel. But I am going to be very tight on the time. So any pick that we talk about is getting 5 minutes max from the person who picks it. And then we may give a couple of minutes for people to chip in comments as well. Because I do want to dedicate a big chunk of the show to Robert Duvall, because he's earned it, god damn it. One of the best actors who ever lived. He can definitely have 50% of this evening's show, at least, at the very minimum. So one of the things, obviously, we will mention quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think we'll have a longer discussion on it when when the season is finished. I think there's one more episode to go, but that is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Everyone was saying, "Oh, episode 5 really ramped it up," and I was a day late watching it, mainly because I was recovering from raving and such. But I did stick it on and watch it yesterday, and they were not wrong. It was a damn good episode, and really well shot. We finally got to the kind of the jousting tournament, and it was just this show is really full of surprises. And there's an interesting interview, I think it was with the cinematographer, and he said that the reason that there's like so much fog and mist when they're shooting a lot of the scenes is because they can only afford to have the crowd of extras for like 1 or 2 days. So they put all this mist and stuff in so that you couldn't really see that there aren't people watching the fight. Sometimes these low budget decisions that force you to be creative actually make for a good result. Stupenzo, are you watching this show yet?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll move on.
Sorry.
Anna, are you up to speed? Have you watched the latest one?
Yep, it was just fantastic. I also saw that interview about the cinematography and about the budget limitations that they had, and you'd notice it looks fantastic. And as someone who's read the novellas before, having the same experience as a lot of people, where a lot of scenes are just precisely as described in the novella, or at least precisely as I pictured them, and just really, really good job all the way through. I actually quite liked there was an extended flashback in this episode that is actually not in the novella, but I thought it added quite a bit to both the characters of Duncan and his motivations and of Sir Arlen. I always love to see more of him.
It was great to have my friend Danny Webb back in it again, because I thought he was done, but it's really good to see more of him. And I really did.
I knew what was coming from having read it, and I was hoping they wouldn't skimp on some of the brutality, and they didn't. Just fantastic all the way through.
Yeah,
and painful. Hurts my heart.
Northern, are you watching this?
Yes, I've been watching it, and I'm very happily to keep on watching it so far.
Yeah, it's a really good show. What can we say? But we'll do a bigger chat about it when it finishes. Tox, I don't think you're watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
I actually am watching it. My boss is obsessed with Game of Thrones, so when in the evening time he puts it on the bar TV behind the bar, and I've been kind of watching. I have not seen the latest episode, so please don't spoil it.
No, okay, well we won't. But needless to say that it's good. Fantastic. I mean, that episode's definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. I don't know if anyone else wants to give it a rating quickly before we move on.
I'll give it a 7, just because I'm worried that is this going to force me to have to watch House of Dragon now?
No.
No. Yeah, but I've watched House of Dragon, and to be honest, it's best watch. You can sort of watch it as a standalone show in a way as well.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm one of those people that's still salty about the books not getting finished. So I mean, make of that what you will.
Don't worry.
I mean, everyone.
The winners are going to be floppy and flaccid than ever.
Well, I'm annoyed that the books haven't been finished, and I haven't even read them. I just think it's kind of, in considering the time that's elapsed and the fact that he's got distracted by so many things.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's only been since 2011. I mean, I guess we should give him some more time.
No, It's outrageous, to be honest. 16 years is a long time.
It must be a really good book if it's been 16 years.
I mean, if you've kind of lost your steam and you outline the plot of what definitely needs to happen and give it to another writer.
Right.
Let them put their name on it as well.
As someone who has helped ghostwrite books, I feel like, yes, that's the answer. Give it, hand it off to somebody else. You can still keep your name on it and let somebody else do it. There's no shame in that. No,
I mean, it still will be George R.R. Martin's book. It'll be his story. It's his characters. He's done the heavy lifting. He's not in the best of health. And I get it. He's made a lot of money. He's distracted by a lot of toys right now.
He's lost a lot of weight recently, though, with GLP-1s. Perhaps he's got a few more years in him. We'll see.
Ozempic does wonderful things. So,
I mean, he is the sort of person who would really need it because we do actually want him to live longer to publish stuff.
No, indeed. All right. Northern and Anna, what would you give episode 5 out of 10?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I was very satisfied. I thought it was an excellent adaptation, but if you haven't read the novella, just an excellent episode of TV as it is.
Yeah. All right.
I will give it an 8.5. I did like how these two characters kind of met, and it was kind of just really random as well, which kind of makes sense to the relationship. And it does lose a little bit because one character in the tournament was getting stabbed like multiple bloody times, and he's just
that bothered me a little bit.
I know, but it was still a good episode though, and it does really look like this character has really changed now from what we saw him from how we saw him last time.
I mean, to be fair to that criticism, we don't know the outcome of that yet because the way it ended, we don't know the outcome of those wounds and what the severity of them is. So it depends how it's handled in the next episode. But
But looking forward to it, though. Still, I mean, I really love this character. Peter Claffey is really good.
Yeah, it's a really good show, really solid show. Let's have more stuff like this, Netflix.
Yes, and please don't drop the ball like House of Dragon Series 2 and Game of Thrones Series 8, Season 8. Please.
They always do. They always do.
Well, I quite like House of Dragon. I think Season 2 was weaker than the first season, but I still liked it. So we're not all in complete agreement there.
I'm really hopeful.
Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Go ahead, Anna.
The heart of the show is the chemistry that these two characters have, and they've managed to cast two actors who are both really good and who seem to have genuine chemistry as well. And following stories stay focused on the relationship between these two characters, and so I'm hopeful for it from that point of view. There's not immensely complex plot threads that are coming in. If it stays focused on the content of the stories and on the relationship of Dunk and Egg, I think they can't really go wrong. I hope.
The problem with
maybe
Game
this
of
is just
Thrones
pure copium.
I mean,
go ahead.
The George R.R. Martin stuff is like, it's a lot of like feminine power fantasies where like the men are constantly getting stripped down and beaten and disillusioned, while the women are constantly like discovering their power and moving upwards. And it's very, I don't know.
This is the first one that's not like that. So.
Yeah, there's very rarely any women in power. Yeah, they're mostly just ordinary women or whores. Anyway,
good. No offense, Anna.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on. But needless to say, the panel recommends The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Do watch it. Now, I have a feeling this is not going to get such a strong recommendation. Some of us have seen it, some of us haven't. We'll try and restrict our time on this, but I'll start because I wanted people to watch it. So this is just dropped on Netflix, How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. It's I guess you'd call it a comedy dark thriller about three women who sort of become embroiled in a plot concerning a friend of theirs who may or may not be dead. I was recommended it by a really good friend of mine, and decided to watch the first episode with them, and actually really enjoyed that first episode and thought, I'll give the rest of this a go. And I'm at the end of episode 3 now. So I haven't watched the whole thing because I couldn't watch any more because I've got a couple of work jobs on at the minute that are taking up a lot of my time. So I really needed to knuckle down and get on with those. Plus, rave recovery time. But yeah, I'm a big fan of a couple of the actors, Sinead Keenan especially. So, I quite like the fact that it was quirky and it was original. It was a little bit different. But is it worth the sum of its parts? I can't say because I haven't finished it yet. However, Anna, I believe, is the only one of the panelists who's seen the whole thing. So,
yep.
Anna, dive in.
So I won't spoil anything. I didn't really love it all of that much. I didn't think the comedy hit for me at all. It's what I might call mom funny, but the timing was not particularly good, and then the jokes themselves were just very predictable a lot of the time. I felt the thriller elements did better. I won't get into how well they paid off once you get to the resolution of the mystery at the end. But it was exactly what you'd expect, is like these three women being like, girls, we have a wake tomorrow, so we cannot get hammered, and immediately cuts to an extended sequence of them getting hammered. And I'm like, is this funny? I don't really follow all of these jokes. I didn't quite understand why all of these women were friends, because they all really seemed to hate themselves and each other, which I suppose is the point of the setup of the story, is that they've all got quite a bit of trauma from an event that happened when they were all teenagers. But it just didn't appeal to me all that much, and I did watch the whole thing. I don't know, from the perspective of someone across the pond, I don't know if the Belfast accent is actually so sexy that a 26-year-old cop would want to have an affair with the 38-year-old neurotic lady with the crazy eyes who's engaged. But I guess the accent of Belfast is just that strong that it would, cause that to happen.
Yeah, that plot line wasn't convincing to me either. You've kind of spoiled where it goes, but that's fine.
Oh, well, I mean, it's set up from the first episode, as you can tell. These characters have an interest in each other, and it continues through all 8. And I was surprised at the initial right off the bat. I'm like, why would this cop be into this lady? Anyway, so I won't get into any spoilers. It wasn't for me. I'm interested to hear what Northern has to say.
Yeah, me too. What's your rating overall out of 10? Because you've seen the whole thing.
I'd say 5 out of 10. Sorry, Lance.
Okay. No. I haven't seen it all yet. I just thought it looked promising, and I thought this might be an interesting one to discuss, and perhaps not too painful for everyone. But I might have been wrong on the painful part. Northern, you admirably tried to watch all of it, and I think did you get to episode 5? Is that right?
Yeah, I got to episode 5. It's basically just 5 episodes of 3 annoying women shrieking and screaming to really crappy 2000 soundtrack, and nearly every single white guy on here is very passive, and they never seem to be in control or anything. And the women are always calling the shots. Something like there's a villain woman, and there's a matriarch, and then you got the character played by Rosen Gallagher, who's like the writer, yet her husband's the director, and he never seems to be the guy in charge of the production. And I don't know, it just feels a little bit like typical Netflix comedy, open quotes. It's not. I just do not like these characters at all. They never come across really likable. I mean, the blonde one seems to be really petty and just really sort of petulant towards her husband, who actually seems to be working a living and has provided her for this really nice house and everything. And I think the only thing I kind of got a little laugh out of me was when Rosen Gallagher's character kind of had a go at the production, because they're trying to turn a murder show into some feminist sort of thing, and she's like, okay, but our viewers like our show just for the murders, not any for that crap, which I didn't mind. But after that, it's just like the only good bit, and then the rest of it's just really annoying. But I did like seeing hair out of Pulp Fiction. They use a gun not to pierce your nipples. Hair, yeah, and she is kind of the really she is kind of convincing as the psycho, but I don't know. I just did not get anything out of this. It was, it just felt like a chore to watch all the way through. It really did.
You're talking about,
yeah, Brona
okay.
Yeah,
yeah, she's a great actress, and I would also argue criminally underused. You know, I mean, yeah, she's got 76 acting credits, but I would like to see her in more things and more significant roles, because I think she's very, very, very underrated. So I was actually quite pleased when I saw her in this. The first role she ever did was in The Commitments, directed by Alan Parker, who I got to meet when he came to see the stage production of Bugsy Malone, because of course he directed Bugsy Malone. But yeah, she's a great actress. What's your rating, mate, out of 10?
I'll give it a 4 out of 10. That's just been generous.
Well, it's a 7 out of 10 from me so far, but I've only seen 3 episodes. So I was quite enjoying it. Quite like the quirky comedy. I do like the chemistry between the 3 leads. You're right. I think that the criticisms that both of you have pointed out are justified. So I'll see if when I get to the end, it's worth the sum of its parts. I have a feeling I might be disappointed. I don't think Toxic and Enzo have seen this.
No.
Obviously, they'll both be rushing to watch it after we get off air.
Well, after those stunning recommendations, how could we not?
Well, indeed. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on. Enzo, you had 1 or 2 you wanted to mention. Let's do Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind another time, but there was another thing I think you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, I mean, I rewatched. I was rewatching The Big Blue last night. I put that on like to go to sleep to, and just ended up watching the whole movie. It's 3 hours long, but yeah, what a gorgeous movie. Like Luc Besson in the 80s. It's just what you guys have seen it, right?
Yeah,
it's the one where those that they hold on to the weights and make themselves go down really far underwater.
Yeah, free divers. They dive without oxygen tanks and they hold their breath a long time. And Jean Reno plays Enzo, the free diver, and his buddy Jacques.
Were you named after him by any chance?
No. But it's one of the few big media guys named Enzo. But Jean Reno's great in that one. But yeah, I was just watching it this time, and I just couldn't help but notice how awesome the photography is. And
really is good.
Yeah, underwater photography. I also didn't know this, but Luc Besson, I mean, I did know this recently, like this year I found this out and I haven't seen it yet, but Luc Besson also made, like, around the same time, he made a, like an underwater documentary about, you know, wildlife down there. He did like a nature documentary, which was all, because I guess the thing about The Big Blue is it was you know, it's filmed in these awesome, you know, Luc Besson has that awesome look where the camera's really close and he's got the anamorphic widescreen and he shoots it on like the pristine film and stuff. But he was doing that underwater, you know, which was pretty big deal at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the dolphin stuff, and it's just a fun movie. It's not like, you know, Jean Reno and what's it, Enzo and Jacques, you know, they're not really like enemies. They're kind of friends, really, but they compete with each other. And then all the romance stuff with him, with Jacques and Rosanna Arquette is just really great. And I don't know if I like, because there's 2 endings. You know, there's like the original ending, which is like kind of sad and dark. And then there's like the Hollywood ending, which I kind of like better, where he doesn't die allegedly for no reason.
Yeah, I've only seen the ending where he dies. So what's the Hollywood ending?
So the original Hollywood ending is like at the end, you see him like just surface at the end with the dolphin, you know. So he doesn't, you know, he's at the the dolphin's like, I guess, because like in the end he goes to the bottom of the ocean with dolphins, or not the bottom, but he goes deep down and then it just like fades to black. And, you know, you're saying that he leaves Rosanna Arquette, who's pregnant, behind. And, I mean, he longs to be in the ocean that bad. That's kind of stupid. It's like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you know? Like, the idea of, like, going off with the aliens and stuff seems like a good idea. But then when Steven Spielberg has, like, grandchildren, he's like, wait, why the fuck? No, he wouldn't do that. Like, I don't think he would do that. I don't think you should leave your family behind for no reason. But yeah, it was just it was one of those movies where I was trying to fall asleep to it, And I just kept finding myself just watching more and more of it. And this is a great scene when they go in the submersible and they get hella drunk because, you know, if you drink alcohol down there, it like affects you way more. They're like drinking out of this little flask, and then they have to do like some kind of like deep sea diving task. They're all wasted. But yeah, just a great movie. And it's such a, I don't know, man. It's very timeless kind of vibe. It doesn't feel like an 80s movie, you know? It feels, I don't know. It just feels very contemporary, very modern, even though it is, you know, 88. But I was just watching it this time and just really paying attention more to the actual, you know, visuals and camera stuff. I've also been watching Mad Men. I watched the first 2 seasons. It's pretty good. I heard it gets a little off the rails at the end, but I'm enjoying it. Don Draper's a great character. I know people, they're like, who's your favorite character on you know, a show? Usually your favorite character might be some fun supporting character, but no, man, I mean, Don Draper's great. He's a cool guy.
Is that the character that what's his name plays?
John Hamm plays. Yeah, the
yeah,
main guy.
John Hamm. Yeah. I've only seen a couple of episodes of this. I haven't. I've never sat down.
It's one of those shows that's been recommended for years. It's been on the list along with My Name Is Earl and Community and a few others I haven't seen. But yeah, I've just been watching Mad Men and it's cool. I like how, you know, I was thinking like specifically the episode where Sterling is like coming back from his heart attack. That was what I was like thinking. Like sometimes, you know, I know like the ladies love the documentaries and the true crime stuff and all that stuff. But like when I was watching Mad Men and he's like coming back from to the office from his heart attack, I was feeling like, man, sometimes like these fiction movies, they feel more real emotionally than a lot of these literal real film subjects, documentaries and whatnot. It's just weird how you can make a story about, you know, ad executives in New York and you can make something engaging. It's just further proof that you can make a movie about anything. You can make stories about anything as long as you know what you're doing. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun show. I don't know if I'm going to watch the entire all 7 seasons, but I'm probably going to watch another couple more.
How far have you got with it?
I just started like season 3. So
has anybody on the panel seen the whole thing before? Did we got any Mad Men fans on the panel?
Yeah, it's definitely one that's passed me by. Well, it's not passed me by. I knew about it, just didn't watch the fucker, and I still haven't.
So the answer to that question would be no. Then, in your case,
it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool considering, like, you know, it's, you know, it reminds me of some of the best episodes of like Next Generation. Some of my favorite episodes of Next Generation have like 0 action in them. You know, there's no punching or fighting or shooting or blowing up stuff. It's just like all personal human drama. It's good.
Well, yeah, it's like The Sopranos. I mean, most of the best bits aren't really the killings. It's mostly the characters interacting with each other.
Oh yeah.
But if you do get into My Name Is Earl, just word of warning: there is no resolution because it got cancelled.
Right, and that's what I hear about Mad Men. You know, it's like it kind of falls off and then it got canceled. You know, it gets a little weird. That's what most shows do. Very few shows stick the landing.
They didn't come back and do a one-off episode to wrap it up, which is a shame.
Yeah, the thing is, they did have a resolution for My Name Is Earl, but it never happened. The show just didn't get commissioned for another season, and they basically had to sort of reference the resolution in Raising Hope.
Right.
Bummer.
Mad Men, a show worth checking out. Toxic, did you ever watch it back in the day?
You know, I keep meaning to watch it. No.
It's good. It's good, man. And it's one of those cool. It's like The Office too, where like 90% of the show takes place in this corporate business. You feel like you're going to work, after a while, like you're back at the office. It's very I don't know. It's good television, and I mean, it is serial though. You got to watch it in order, for real.
It unfortunately came around that time when What is that? What is that channel? Is that that's,
AMC? I think it was AMC. So it was like this Mad Men and Zombies. It just became the zombie channel. AMC.
Yeah, it unfortunately came out around that time when AMC was just like, just downloading so much content, and you kind of had to pick and choose. It's floating around there. I'll probably get to it at some point because it is interesting, and I really like John Hamm. And
yeah, so, when we have another lockdown, I'll probably binge it. South London Reseller 389 is keen on it. He says you need to watch Mad Men. Thanks for coming on the channel, buddy. I'm not sure if I've seen you before, so welcome. Yeah, and so okay, what would you give it out of 10 to wrap it up on that?
Mad Men, I'd give it a good. The first 2 seasons, I mean, just as is, I'd give it a solid. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, and a Big Blue, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I love Big Blue.
Yeah, Big Blue is a great film. It won't be for everyone, but it is a good film, especially
no, it's a weird movie for real, but I love it. I'm biased though because my name's Enzo, so
there you go. I mean, anything that's got the main character named after you has got to be good.
People tell me the show Reboot. You gotta watch Reboot. There's a guy named Enzo in that one. I'm like, okay, maybe.
Someone in chat called Anna Nielsen. I don't know who she is, but she loves John Hamm. She's giving it away. A crush. All right, we'll move on. So I know one of the things Toxic wanted to talk about is Crime 101. I think this is relatively new.
Yeah, first good movie of 2026. We're well into past the mid-Feb, so I mean, that's not a great sign that there's only been one decent. And I haven't seen everything, but I have not gone to the theater since Christmas Day when I was off, and I went and saw The Housemaid, which I did. I like that as well. So this is the first movie theater foray I did. I had a rare day off, and I said, I'm going to go to the theater. It was recommended to me by one of my clients, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a look. And I didn't know that it's based on a novel and by one of my favorite authors on top of that, although political, stuff notwithstanding. Like that. So Don Winslow, former private investigator, and does a lot of crime books. If you've seen, I think they've made a couple pictures out of his stuff. One would be Savages, would be one that you'd probably know, that came out back in 2011, 2012. But anyway, so this is a story. It's got Chris Hemsworth plays the main character. I won't say his name because it changes a couple different times, and that is a big plot point. But anyway, he's think like the movie Drive, Ryan Gosling's character, extremely good looking guy, but awkward with people. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of TikTok or something. Somebody's going to say, well, he's probably on the spectrum or something like that. He's just, a very quiet, taciturn type guy, solid professional in what he does. They call him he's nicknamed the Lone Ranger because he always works alone. He does these jobs where nobody gets hurt. And there's very, very little violence, and it's always he escapes on the 101 freeway. Halle Berry plays an insurance adjuster that takes care of big companies and rich people who need their stuff looked after, but she's been kind of passed over, and so she's deciding she might go into crime. Mark Ruffalo plays your standard grizzled detective character, but has a very interesting character arc throughout the film. And I won't give that away either, but everyone knows I'm not a big fan of him, but he kills it in this movie, as does Halle Berry. Barry Keogh, that you see on the screen right there. He plays this sort of maverick, hothead wild card guy that's coming in trying to snake jobs from Chris Hemsworth's character that he either doesn't want to do or is taking too long to do, and kind of ramping up the timetable and the violence. It's kind of a slow burn picture. Don't think Heat. I've heard people calling it Heat light. I don't think that's very fair. Think more like James Caan and Thief. Think more
right. Yeah. I watched that recently, actually.
Yeah, great film. Also Michael Mann, by the way. Think more along those lines. I don't know this young lady's name. She's a Latina actress that was in the Top Gun Maverick reboot.
Monica Barbaro.
Okay.
Monica Barbaro.
She's very listen, everybody's really good in this. It's just if you enjoy watching actors act, they're very good. If I had anything poorly to say, it would just be that there's times when Chris Hemsworth struggles with the accent that he's trying to go for, but they sort of lampshade it in the fact that, you know, because he's coming from various foster homes, maybe his accent would be a little muddled. You can buy that or not. It's really up to you. The mechanics of how the heists are done are very, very smart and professional. Some people think that the ending is a bit, you know, deus ex machina or whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's true. I think I don't even like that term. I think it's a dumb term. It's something that critics say when something happens and they think if you've read enough,
they want to sound intelligent, you know.
Right. It's like, oh, of course, that's what he would do at the end. You know, they wasn't good writing. Anyone who's read a decent amount of Don Winslow, as I have, you'll know that it's pretty pro forma for the way like when I saw his name on the end credits. I was like, oh, of course. No, that makes sense. It has the Don Winslow vibe to it. Don Winslow knows crime and he knows LA very well. So this is really, really well done. Halle Berry I'll stand on this. This is the best Halle Berry performance I've ever seen. And for her being an ancillary character in it, that's really saying something, because she really shines in this. You believe everybody in the film, but you really believe her in her situation and stuff. I just really, really liked seeing her, and what should have just been kind of like a one-note character, you know, this, you know, aging, you know, formerly good, well, still good looking, obviously, but, you know, in this business, this cutthroat business, and her toying with the idea of jumping into crime, that could have been really lame. Probably the only lame duck, and I don't even say lame duck, he just doesn't rise to it, is that Barry Keoghan. Is it Barry Keoghan?
Barry Keoghan. Really, that surprises me because he's pretty talented.
It really feels like they just threw him in because he is the flavor of the month upcoming actor, but he just doesn't have a lot to do.
I liked him at first. He was in some cool movies, doing some cool stuff, but he's aging in a way where he's looking like inhuman. I don't like him anymore. He's got this like uncanny valley about his face. It's weird.
You know,
you say he looks like an old man in a young man's body.
He's aging like rapidly. It's crazy, dude. He looked like what was it? Killing of a Sacred Deer with, is I think the first time I noticed him. He's really cool in that one.
Sharon, who's very good in.
Yeah, like 10 years later, look at him now. He just looks like his face is.
But I mean, there is
a mask.
He gets the like. There's a couple like shocking violence that is almost borders on camp a little bit, just right at the edge of. But anyone who's ever seen like random violence happen, you know that it's almost always that way. So and his reaction to it got like, you know, like an unintended like laugh out of it, but it's really like it's very character study. Like, again, I guess I would just keep going back to Michael Mann's Thief, and that it's along those lines.
All right,
and they do avoid the one last job trope. I like that they avoid that, so that's pretty
okay. Cool. Rating out of 10, mate.
I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a solid 9.
All right,
good, yeah.
Well, that's a strong contender. Who knows? It could end up being a film of the year. Good to see you, True Pop Culture 7. Do check out his YouTube channel. I haven't seen this yet. I have heard of it. So now I've heard your review, I'm really keen to see it. Anna, you saw the trailer. You're keen, but you said it looks like dad slop. Please explain.
I used that term lovingly. I've got a group of friends.
I always heard it called unk slop.
It's my fencing friends from grad school. We get together pretty frequently, and we watch a lot of TV shows and movies that fall into the dad slop category that we all quite like. And so most recently we watched both the Terminalist and Dark Wolf. We watched The Night Agent. We've watched loads of just sort of military-esque films that include lots of firearms, and so this one, when it releases on streaming, is on our dad slop list. And because this is the genre that my friends like so much, we joke about it, but we use that term in a very caring way.
Affectionate. Yeah.
See, what I've heard
Yes.
is like people will talk about like people will show movies like a big list of like, awesome 80s and 90s action flicks like Terminator and Aliens and Predator, and those be like, this is retarded unk slop, like Uncle Slop. Your uncle loves these movies, and it's like they're good. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Dad
But it's
Slop
all
is
it's all
supposed to
unk
be
slop according.
as
I
if it
am
were
an
based
uncle,
on the
and I do
type
love
of
those
novel
movies.
that you would see sold for men in the airport.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well,
that's
that's
Dad Slop. I see what you're
actually
saying. I see what you're saying.
that's actually true. Don Winslow is definitely something middle-aged men, are gonna gravitate towards a bit of Don Winslow. So that is not inaccurate.
So
There's
any
nothing wrong
Tom
with that
Clancy,
genre, by the way.
Tom Clancy, what's the one? Jack Ryan, any of those? Jack Ryan. Not-
Lee Child, yeah,
Who's-
Lee Child, like that.
Yeah.
Who's the? Wait, is Jack Ryan Critical Drinkers guy?
No,
No,
Okay.
no.
No, Brian
That's
Drake.
Drake. I guess.
Great.
I
Yeah,
got you.
Drake.
Jack
Ryan
Ryan is what I
Drake,
meant to
Ryan
say.
Drake.
I did mean to
Ryan-
say Jack Ryan there. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Drake is Critical Drinkers guy.
Right,
but
right.
if they were doing movies of that would also be under that same new genre
Yeah.
that you've just created.
Exactly.
Well done. Okay, fantastic. All right, well we're going to race on. So I think we might have Anna and Northern. One thing each before we jump into Robert Duvall, and then we'll see if we've got time. So, Northern, have you got something you wanted to shout out this week?
Yeah, a few though, but I was almost going to talk about True Romance, but I think we've talked that to death because it is a Nielsen movie. But I will mention one, and that is Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Oh,
Hell
mate,
yeah.
I love that movie. Absolutely love
Everybody
that.
loves that movie. There's
Yeah,
no-
no, it's, I don't think people have been talking about it enough, at least recently anyway, but it is a very well-written movie. It's got a good little
It is.
crazy setup where this rich bitch kind of rips off Kurt Russell, and so, but then she has this accident where she's loses her memory, so he finds a good way to sort of get back at her, but then she kind of develops into this very responsible mother who teaches his no good kids how to be good, and he kind of develops into a loving husband, a far cry from his irresponsible kind of man-child thing. And they both are very, very charming, these two actors, and you can sort of see why these two are still together till these days, because they have mad fucking chemistry, even though they start off playing people who hate each other. But I just love the character involvement as well. And that scene though, when the fucking Edward Herman shows up and she goes back with him, and the kids are like, "Mommy, don't leave me," and she's shutting out her ears because hearing him cry is too painful for her, and it's so good. I love good movies where shitty people kind of redeem themselves.
No, it's a really fun, enjoyable movie, suitable for any age. It hasn't aged as well. There was a rumor that a remake came out in 2018.
They did, yeah.
Well, that's completely
Yeah.
untrue, and there is only one Overboard film. There's only three.
Wait, who is in the
Indiana
remake
Jones
again?
films.
Is it
Anna
Chris
Faris.
Pratt? Who's?
Oh my god, I don't know who
Anna
did it.
Faris.
It was awful. It was
Yeah,
awful.
Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. Who's the guy?
No,
I don't know. I've not
It
seen
was some like a Latino
Eugenio
actor.
Derbez.
Mm.
This is our Javier Bardem and fucking.
Now that
just
would have
kidding.
been. I would have watched that if it was Javier Bardem. That would have.
Wait, who is it? Who's in the
I mean,
remake?
they are.
It was someone named Eugenio Derbez. I don't know who that is.
So they're a great couple, Goldie Hawn and Kurt
Yeah,
Russell.
they are.
Yeah, I mean, peak Goldie Hawn as well. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus
who the
Christ.
hell's this
man.
guy? Why would you have
Yeah,
this
he's
guy
like,
be the lead?
the guy who was like, if you try to stop me from taking my wife away, I'll get this guy on you. Yeah, Edward
Yeah.
Herman, really fucking funny asshole on this. He really is. He's a proper nut job.
It
It's
should have been like
I'm
a.
god
It
in
should have
the
been.
sea.
It should have been like a Chris Hemsworth type guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jared Rushton, who's got the UK T-shirt on in this still, he was also Tom Hanks's best buddy in the film Big.
Yeah.
And,
And the thing
and
is,
right.
I tracked him down and I tried to get him to come on the channel, but he doesn't
oh,
do.
man.
He
You know
doesn't
where I
do-
know him from? I love him, and he's in Pet Sematary too. And Clancy Brown like kills him with a motorcycle, getting a scarf caught in a wheel. Ah!
Oh, I'm going to have to watch that now. If it's Clancy Brown killing this kid, that sounds like a winner.
Oh,
Yeah, he
gosh.
quit. He quit acting before he became an adult. I think he made some good money when he was a kid, and he had some really nice roles in some really big movies, and then he quit while he was ahead. So, probably got chased around by too many P types while he was in Hollywood. Overboard, fantastic film. I've got to give this film this is a 9 out of 10 for me. Overboard.
I agree.
Yeah. That's this strange woman who keeps ranting in our chat again. Recent hand wringing Overboard recently that doesn't age well because of you can't actually.
Yeah, they are
make
both bad
what's
people
it.
in the way, though, but that's why it makes it work so well, because they both kind of redeem each other.
Tons of movies are like that.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, I
Blind
agree.
Date?
I've seen a fair amount of commentary about people who I think read the Wikipedia summary.
Yeah,
what are the other ones that really do it?
Context is.
There's a Blind Date is really aged poorly. The Fifth Element. Yeah. It's kind of weird that Corbin Dallas is so in love with Lilu. I mean, yes, she's hot.
Yeah,
she's like
perfect, isn't she? She's a perfect.
Whoa!
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh,
stop scrolling through pictures.
What's going on here? Whoa!
Stop!
Lance, you're going to keep your show. Why don't you stop? Why do you keep going?
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. If you show nudity, all you got to do is just take the stream and just censor it later. It won't be a problem. Worst case scenario is the stream gets flagged for 18 and up only. But you can fix that with the editor tool in YouTube.
Well, it's my channel content is for adults only. So.
I've shown like hardcore Rule 34, like cartoon pornography on accident on my channel. I showed titties recently.
On accident.
Yeah, I showed titties on accident recently. There's a great clip of me like.
Yeah, so did that with the Great Silence. I mean, one of the slides had a bit of boob, and I was really quick though.
Yeah, there's the time Sammy tweeted. I was on his show, and Sammy started scrolling on Kanye's X page.
We're not monetized.
Like hardcore stuff being shown, and stop scrolling. And then, but what was crazy is that stream was up for like a whole day and a half before he finally took it down and edited it, and no problem. There was nothing happened.
Yeah, we won't tell anyone.
Bring it back to an intellectual discussion about Overboard, if we may. Do you want to say anything else about the film, Northern, before we move on?
Well, Goldie Hawn, she may not have tits, but she sure got a great ass, as the kid said.
Thanks. I'm really glad you brought it back to the intellectual discussion on the film there. Yeah. Well done. It is a great movie. Hard to believe this was made in 1987 because it's still really I think it stands the test of time.
Yeah, it's very charming. It's kind of fucked up, but it's still very charming. And the
I mean, it is messed up, but that's the point of the film because he's not a nice guy either. He takes
but
they both redeem each other.
That's what great writing. Yeah, but that's what great writing did back then, though.
Yeah. I remember this came out the same week in the UK as another film called Gung Ho with Michael Keaton, where
great movie.
Yeah, he goes to work at the Japanese factory or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
How come
the Japanese come to America?
Yeah. So they were both out in the UK at the same time.
Great movie.
All right, okay. Anna, did you have a film or show you wanted to mention this week?
Oh yeah, I'd mentioned because I went and saw it in theaters. I did go see the independently produced and distributed Iron Lung, which was done by the YouTuber Markiplier. Have any of you seen that?
No. I've been meaning to see it. I've been hearing really good things.
I'm actually going to purposely not see it because people have been dick riding it so hard. I'm not going to.
It's going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be like the Good Boy movie. Like it's good for what it is, but it's getting a lot of hype because it's such a small film.
That will immediately turn me off of a movie if it gets.
I liked Good Boy though, but it wasn't amazing. But it was good for what it was. I'm sure Iron Lung is the same thing.
Well, Anna, hang on. It's Anna's pick, so let her talk about it for a bit.
That is about where I'd put it too. It was better than I was expecting. I went for the curiosity of it, and I actually went with my cousin, who is a Markiplier fan and not a horror fan, and I would be the opposite. I mean, I've been aware of Markiplier for like the 13, 14 years that he's been on YouTube, but never followed him. But I was interested to see what he'd do because he's written, directed, and then he ended up having to edit, and then of course starred in this film. and then did all the distribution himself. And I think some of those roles, especially the editing and the distribution, he didn't expect to fall on his shoulders, but did end up being the case. And it was really quite interesting. I would say it wasn't particularly frightening. And I did know some of the lore because I did catch a stream of someone playing the game beforehand. But it wasn't particularly scary, but it was interesting enough that it didn't really need to be. I've seen a fair amount of criticism that the movie drags and could do better as either a short film or an episode of TV. And I think it does work as a feature film, but it could have been 90 minutes instead of 2 hours easily. But I was really interested in how, I've known Markiplier's face and his personality as he streams games and yells and stuff. And so I was interested how he would do acting wise because he's done other acting projects. But I was able to, from the point of view of someone who's not a big fan of his or anything, kind of forget it was him. He did sink into the character fairly well, I thought. And there was a fair amount of good cinematography for a film where it's almost entirely in one location, almost entirely in this submarine and this sort of cosmic horror blood ocean. They were able to get really creative with a lot of the camera angles and the framing. There were quite a few good match cuts of something like he'll draw a line on a map. This happened several times, and then it will match cut to a similar shape within his submarine. And there was quite a lot of interesting playing around with that, which I was pretty impressed by. And I also, because I pay attention a lot to costuming, I was really interested in the costuming and how they would do it, because this is essentially a single costume film. And so from the point of view of if you're ever producing an independent film and you've got, in this case, it had like a $3 million budget. So it was more than a lot of people might have, but still produced pretty cheaply and was resting on the shoulders of the, one actor to carry the whole thing. And in every case, I always feel like costuming should be paid a lot of attention to, even in independent films when you might not have the biggest budget, and that at all stages, costume should be indicating both it should be highlighting story beats and indicating character and development. And in this case, it was a pretty standard, what you would expect a post-apocalyptic dystopian sort of techwear inspired costume. But he's able to take off and put on layers throughout at times, tie back his hair, roll up his sleeves, bandage his arms in a way that will highlight story relevant elements, like a bracelet on his wrist at a certain point. And so there's like 5 or 6 distinct stages throughout. I really quite liked at the point that he gets completely covered in blood. The lightweight wool that they've used for the tunic he wears gets all fleshy and weird because wool repels moisture, and so the glycerin based blood that they use, the fake blood, looked really good and freaky. And then at a final stage, some prosthetic elements that are applied to the actor are also incorporated into the costume. And so without getting into any of the story beats, I was really impressed by the amount of thought that the costumer, who is someone named, what was her name? Like Erica Slay, which I thought was quite a name. And then they had a costume wrangler as well, Aaron Brooke, who, kept track of the continuity and the bloodstains and holes that get bigger throughout. It was quite an amount of detail and really good as a case study of costuming through what's a relatively straightforward story, but that even if your budget is not huge, you don't have to skimp on this. Anyway, I was pretty impressed. It's nothing groundbreaking, but if this were my first film and I were having to take on all of these roles, my first feature film, I would be more than pleased with the way that this turned out and the reception it seemed. And Talks mentioned that, there's a fair amount of dick riding, and a lot of that may come from Markiplier's fans, but I was impressed for what it is.
Okay, great. Has anybody else seen it? I know Enzo wanted to say something, but he's currently off camera. Has anybody else seen it at all? No, I don't think so. No. Okay, all right.
Yeah, one more thing. Aaron in the chat mentions that there's quite a bit of lore that's not really explained but is included. I just thought it was interesting that this is a movie produced by a video game adaptation produced by someone who he was looking for a project to do, but he also just really, really liked the video game. He played it. He liked it. He played it again. He really liked it. He made a film, and he included and in some cases expanded on the cosmic horror lore because he really quite rare to get a video game adaptation. And for something like this, such a small indie game, you're like, why couldn't other games like, why couldn't Halo get a good adaptation? But it's really interesting to see an adaptation by someone who's clearly a really, really big fan and has been working closely with the person who created the actual media this is being adapted from.
Okay, great.
Anyway, good stuff.
You know, it's funny. I thought his name was Mark. I thought his name was Mark Plyer. That's what I've been calling him this whole time.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought his name was. What is his name?
Mark
I don't know, but
Schmock or something.
Yeah, is he good friends with Johnny Wrench?
He's not. He's not Mark Plyer.
Yeah, that's spelled correctly. The way Aaron has it, Markiplier.
Markiplier. So is that one
you
word?
know, you just got to pick a channel name, and that's the one he picked, I guess. I don't know what it means.
Oh, Markiplier. Okay, all right, fair enough. So that's his channel name, and so this guy was the background to this guy is he was a YouTuber for what 14 years before he did this.
Yeah, he's been since I was in high school, so ages and ages. He's mainly a gaming YouTuber. He streams games, and he does especially indie games and horror games, is my understanding.
Okay, well, good on him. I'm always up for supporting independent filmmakers. God, if we could get him on, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
He's pretty big. He might not have time.
Well, indeed, but you know, Galen Hurd is pretty big, and she made time for me. So,
that's true. I shouldn't underestimate you, Lance.
You shouldn't. That's absolutely right. Never underestimate a Nielsen. You should know that. That's the motto of our clan. Okay, good. Well, I will watch this. So it's possible. I know you were keen to, as a filmmaker, you were keen to hear my views. I just haven't had time.
If you see it, tell me what you think.
I will indeed. All right. Well, we'll move on. So let's dive into the career of Robert Duvall. I said at the beginning of the stream, this is a guy who just had an incredible career. I think not just the longevity, because he was still acting right up until maybe I think it was 5 or 8 years ago or something. He certainly was around for a long time, but not just that. It was the range of his work. It was the different roles that he undertook, the quality of the performances, and so on. They've got a little bit of a run through here, so let's just take a quick look at this, and then we'll talk about the actor Robert Duvall. And in the chat, I would like to know, what is your favourite Robert Duvall movie or performance? Let's have a quick look here.
I love the smell of it come in the morning.
See, I don't trust happiness. I never did. I never will. It would be disastrous. All the 5 families would come after you, Sonny. The Corleone family would be outcast. I love you, Lord. I love you, but I'm mad at you. I am mad at you.
If I left her in there, everything I know about myself is a lie.
The man's got a right to protect his property and his life, and we ain't letting no rancher or his lawman take either.
Never too late, son. Never too late. You called and it's done, all right?
You think you're going to change things? Change them to what?
We're like kings. We are kings. Sitting in our castle deciding important things. I would tell you something, I'm going to be around here a lot longer than you or anybody else around here. I'm here to protect this game. How can he expect to race if he don't know what a race car can and can't do? Hey, mama's boy. But you're going to cry. Let's see you cry, come on.
It's hard to know what the right thing is, but put the gun down, Sean.
I thought I'd die. He was an angel.
I wanted someone to help me, like I'd want someone to help my boy. I told you I ain't got no boy now. I want you to get on out of here and let me be.
This is worth it. I mean, you've won. You want to wipe everybody out?
You think 1 on 4 is a dog fall?
So don't have any illusions about who's running this network from now on. You're fired. I want you out of your office before noon, or I'll have you thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, that alone just demonstrates what an incredible range of stuff he had going on. I'm going to pick one that we actually saw on that to mention real quick. I mean, I know an obvious choice is The Godfather. I'm not gonna pick that one. one of my favorite performances of his, and also is probably one of my favorite performances of Kevin Costner as well, is the Western Open Range. I'm a massive Western fan. I saw this in the cinema twice. Went straight back the next day to watch it again. I enjoyed it so much. It's got an incredible slow build up to one of the best gunfights ever filmed, and I've shown that gunfight at least twice at my Christmas movie quiz over the years, which is year 30 this year, coming up to be the 30th one this December. And this is a 9 out of 10 movie for me. I bought it as soon as it came out on DVD. So it's in my physical media collection as well. If you haven't seen Open Range and you're going to make a list of Robert Duvall movies to go back and have a look at, definitely watch Open Range. Add this to the list. There are so many we can talk about. Enzo, do you have a particular favorite performance with Robert Duvall's?
I mean, it's so hard to pick one because, I mean,
It
what
is.
we were talking about. First of all, I'm
So
finding out that he's in a movie. There's a movie version of The Handmaid's Tale from 1990.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I did not know that. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about what was it, the family thing with James Earl Jones the other day, a year ago or so, and then there's Lonesome Dove and Apocalypse Now, and I mean, there's so many good ones. Deep Impact, Gone in 60 Seconds. I just saw that movie this year, by the way. Secondhand Lions. But the one I really love. The one that I really love is when he's the old blind man in The Road, where he has that weird cameo and he shows up for like 10 minutes. That's such a cool role. That's such an awesome cameo in that movie. But yeah, what does he say? He's like, when I saw that little boy, I thought I died and I was looking at an angel. And he's like drinking all the peach juice out of that can, you know? It's awesome. And you're like, whoa, it's Robert Duvall. Suddenly the movie is now like elevated all of a sudden. Because Robert Duvall shows up, hello, just says hello and leaves. But yeah, The Road, that's a good one. Falling Down, that's another really good Robert Duvall one.
Great.
Because he's kind of like the, he's basically the protagonist. Or not the protagonist, he's the hero of the movie, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's the antagonist, technically.
Right.
I also saw Falling Down at the cinema. It's a great movie. That's one that I told Drinker to watch, actually, and I think he did a Drinker recommends on Falling Down.
Yeah, he did too, didn't he? He did recommends on this video essay on the symbolism of it all.
Yeah.
The nice thing about that movie is you can tell, and although it's never a line in the film, you can tell that Robert Duvall is also a man who's in his career has nearly come to a breaking point and also could have had the same mental breakdown as Michael Douglas's character. So he knows Michael Douglas could have been him. That's what I think is great. He articulates that in his performance with looks.
Yeah, because he's kind of had the system kind of screw him a little bit as well.
Yeah,
he's remained his moral compass in a way. Yeah.
He bended, but he didn't break. Michael Douglas broke. But it's a great one. Paul Smith quoting that famous line, of course, from Apocalypse Now. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. Yeah, that's a good one. Another vote for Lonesome Dove. Aaron Charman liked him in the Stalin movie, Cab Driver and Bullet. God, I forgot that. Totally forgot that. Tox, I know you mentioned a few there. Did you want to shout out a couple?
So hard to pick, so I picked my 3 faves, although Falling Down just squeaked out. But if you look down below or pull it up, it's Colors first, and then it's Boss Spearman and Open Range, and then Great Santini. Great Santini's one that just slipped by and I didn't see for the longest time because my military family was always trying to shove it down my throat. But I did read the book first, then watch the film. And was just blown away by how well he embodied the performance. But yeah, my first exposure to him was Colors, playing the training officer to Sean Penn's young hothead, and he's so good in that. I really enjoy it. And then of course, like I agree with you, one of the best gunfights ever put to film is in Open Range, and it's one of those that I'm glad they changed the book for the movie version, because in the book version, Boss Spearman dies halfway through the book. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't do it like that, because I thought that was one of his best characters. He also is great in Great Santini. He's a very if you've never seen it or read the book, I mean, he's the antagonist in the film, and he's not a likable character, but he's just so gregarious and so larger than life. Like he imbues that performance. Like, you know, he really turned it into his own thing, and you 100% believe that, you know, he's, you know, Lieutenant Colonel Bull Meacham, like through and through, you know. And I don't know the actor that plays his son in that, but I mean, it's just such a great film, and it comes from a great era of film.
I think the actor who plays his son is Michael O'Keefe, who wasn't he in Caddyshack? Was that not the guy in Caddyshack?
I would defer to you on that, Lance. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Check. I might be wrong about that. Have a quick look on that.
But like I said, you know, I come from a big military family, and they're always, you know, these older military films, you know, they push on you, and some are good and some aren't. You know, I mean, most of them are good. Heartbreak Ridge is great. And okay. Yeah, wow. Yeah. They aged the shit out of him, huh?
Yeah, but he's still a great actor, man. You know, for a while he didn't seem to get much after Caddyshack. I think he got typecast. And then Michael O'Keefe started doing these great little character actor bit parts that gradually got bigger and bigger, because people actually then remembered him, saw him in stuff, and were like, "Oh yeah, you know, he's actually pretty good." So I'm glad he's still acting.
Sometimes you'll have a book that's so popular and so, you know, and there's a character that is almost unfilmable, you know, and it almost becomes, you're like, yeah, he's, you know, like Tom Cruise for the Jack Reacher movies is one that comes to mind. And people are like, yeah, Tom Cruise is great, but he's not really Jack Reacher. So people had an idea in their mind who Bull Meacham is in this, and Duvall just completely kills it in this. Right. And it's, I mean, I know it's an older film, and people don't usually like to watch older films, but I mean, Jesus, it's such a great performance and such.
I love watching older films. Do you know what? I've only seen this once. I saw it on TV as a kid, and I know I've seen it because of some of the images on the trailer here, but I can remember almost nothing about it. So I'm going to rewatch this.
Yeah, no, it's a great coming of age story. You know, if anyone who's ever been in the military or been a military brat, or just had an overbearing father, this is really it's something that you'll get a lot of satisfaction of. But of course, like I said, colors is number one. His portrayal of Hodges, you know, the cool as a cucumber, you know, older cop that's been there, done that, and trying to show the young hothead the ropes through it. Like I said, I must have seen Colors like 20 or 30 times. Back in the day when it came out on cable. We just watched the shit out of that movie, me and my friends.
I was at the opening night of it at the Odeon. I think it was the Odeon West End, if I remember.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, and it was packed. It was a completely full house.
Yeah, I can't picture anybody else except Duvall in this. And you know, and you know what? I'd be willing to say that's most of his career, isn't it? Most of the big iconic characters that he plays, you couldn't trade anybody else. You could not put anyone else in the roles that he does. I mean, he really makes them his own, so that no one else could have done what he did with the characters that he plays.
Yeah, it's hard to think of another actor before or coming after him who's got the same range and quality of credits. I really, you know, in terms of a character actor, he wasn't always the leading guy. Although he did do the lead in several films.
But he's always value added in anything that he was ever in.
Yeah.
So
even in a really dumb action movie with Nicolas Cage, he's still fucking good. And his character.
When was that he was in with Nicolas Cage?
Gone in 60
seconds.
Oh God, yeah, he was in that.
Yeah,
that film was terrible.
But he was great. But he was great in it. But
he was great.
Like I said, I just saw that one this year, and it was like I was blown away by the color palette of that movie.
Very strong.
So poppy. It's very.
Yeah, I mean,
really
the majority
cool
of his dialogue in that movie is just him sort of like talking about engines and all the mechanics of it, and he makes it sound like fucking poetry. He does.
You got Christopher Eccleston doing his "I like wood, it's warm, it's better than people" kind of speech, and I was like, Jesus Christ, who wrote this shit? But not his. Not the film of his finest hour, but he was fine in it, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's given a weak performance ever. I can't think.
He elevates everything. He does.
I can't think. So Anna, do you have a Robert Duvall movie that you like? Being the youngest one here.
Yeah,
I don't really know who Robert Duvall is.
Well.
Sorry, say that.
Never mind.
No, say that again. What did you say?
Oh, I quite like Westerns as well, and I've been trying to catch up on a lot of the Westerns that, I didn't see necessarily as a kid. And I think what's really interesting is that Duvall goes through, all of these, there's distinct eras of Westerns. I don't know nearly as much as Northern and Inside Man do about Westerns as a category, but from something like True Grit in 68, 69, and Lonesome Dove to ones in the 2000s. I really liked was A Broken Trail, where he's protecting a whole bunch of Chinese girls from being sold into prostitution.
A lot of people haven't seen that. That's absolutely excellent. Excellent.
Broken
Trail.
But
I've got it on DVD.
he was able to remain through all of these changes in the format of what a Western is and how it plays out, and that he was just such a staple, cracking writer, of course, from way back in the era when to be an actor in these kinds of films, or just an actor at all, you had to learn how to ride a horse and do it well and just not be afraid to saddle up and do it. But I was actually going to bring up something pretty weird, because you were all mentioning that even in the subpar films, when Robert Duvall shows up, he is value added. He really shines. And I think the first thing I ever saw him in was probably Newsies, which, if you remember, he plays Pulitzer and has a few scenes where he's being confronted by a very young Christian Bale in his office. And Newsies is not a particularly great film, although it's got a probably cult following now. And I think I was shown it in school in history class one day when the teacher was gone, and they were just like, oh, we're talking about like turn of the century New York, we'll put this film on. And it's not the best film. I think there's an infamous Christian Bale quote that's something like, yeah, time healed those wounds, but it took a while, referring to filming Newsies. But since, of course, Christian Bale is quite a good actor, and then Robert Duvall's an excellent actor, those scenes where he as Pulitzer and Christian Bale as Jack or whoever it was are facing off against each other were some of the most engaging parts of the film, where I was tuned out for the rest of it and the singing and dancing. And I remember just being pulled in by this guy, and that was what got me to look into some of the Westerns that he starred in. So yeah, anyway, the point is just, even in not the best projects, he always shines, and he always is a standout actor.
There you go. There's a picture of him in the said Newsies film. I actually saw the trailer for Newsies at Walt Disney World. There was some ride that we went on. It might have been at MGM Studios. It was one of the Florida theme parks. And at the end of the ride, there was you got taken into the cinema, and I got shown 2 trailers for 2 Disney movies, both of which turned out to be pants. One of them was this one, and the other one was to do with the story of they used to get those horses, and they would get horses to jump into buckets of water really high at fairgrounds and things.
Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. I know that film.
That's the one, yeah. And that film just kind of came and disappeared very quickly, a bit like this one.
If you were a horse girl at a certain time, you saw it.
Yeah.
Is there any girl that's not a horse girl? Is there any girl that doesn't like horses?
No,
there are a lot.
Yes.
Horse girl is a state of being, state of mind.
Okay, good. I think we might do a stream about that. Who knows? Yeah, good. It's interesting to hear how people of different generations still at some point, because Robert Duvall's career was, he started really young, and as you said, he's done a whole range of different westerns across different decades. There's not many actors that can say that, So that last picture I pulled up was actually David Moscow, although he did look a bit like Robert Duvall. So I'm trying to find a Robert Duvall picture from Newsies, but maybe he had them all removed from the internet. Who knows? Northern, did you have a favorite Duvall movie or performance in particular?
Oh, it's really hard, especially when this actor has been fucking good in nearly everything I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, mention a couple.
Obviously, I will say, like in Apocalypse Now. I mean, one of my favorite scenes is when he's seen this Vietnamese soldier with his guts hanging out, and he's trying to hold them in, and he's like, "Any guy who holds his guts in with a big pad deserves some water." That was so cool, but I don't think he was really good as Ned Pepper in True Grit as well. I mean, I remember watching it and thinking, okay, this is supposed to be a bad guy, but I kind of feel a bit sorry for him. I actually really like this guy, and he seems really cool, and you're kind of wondering, how the fuck did this guy become an outlaw? I mean, but somehow he has done. It's like he's chosen this path that's put him on here, and he probably could have had a better life if he had made better decisions. But yeah, once again, he elevated everything. Bo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird, and he has no dialogue whatsoever. Just this one scene, this one look, and he just evokes a lot of emotions just from that one look.
Yeah, he kills that. He kills that role. Absolutely kills that role.
Yeah.
Really,
but yeah, Falling Down probably might be one that the one where I empathize with his character even more, though, because you do feel sorry for him. He's kind of had allowed people to sort of repress him a little bit as well, and you can tell he wants to be out on that street, and now he's finally given a chance to sort of redeem himself. And he's really likable. He's a very likable guy. He's not the smartest, toughest guy, but he is a very likable and good at his job. Yeah, look, just that one scene with no dialogue, and he says a lot, just a few seconds.
Yeah, that's him in To Kill a Mockingbird, almost unrecognizable. Darth Plato says, best acting job for DeVal, Tender Mercies. That is a good movie, actually. I have seen that, not recently, but I did like that movie. A lot of people think his best performance is The Apostle, and that's a film that I think he wrote and produced. It was like his pet project that he waited ages to get financed. And then somebody told me a story about him and Jimmy Caan were friends, and they wrote and developed a Western together. And, for whatever reason, I think the time that they did it was they were both in their 40s, and they were like, well, we better do this soon because, we're not going to be able to ride horses and shit for much longer. And that never unfortunately got made. I would love to have seen, Jimmy Caan and Robert Duvall in a Western together. Dan Candy, Super Chat, $4.99. Thanks very much for that. And to Darth as well. I highly recommend The Apostle, written, directed, and starring Duvall. Yeah, so that was his pet project. It is an incredible performance. Most people have not seen it, sadly. It is a really, really good film. Yeah, I did beat you to it, only by a fraction of a second. Yeah, fantastic one. Who has seen The Apostle on this panel?
I have. It was a big staple when I worked at the movie theater, actually, and it was one of those things. They used to do this thing in movie theaters. Well, you know this, Lance. If a movie was nominated for a bunch of Oscars, they would re-release it in the theater. So early '98, before the Oscars, they re-released The Apostle, and so it was played a lot. And in South Florida, of course, all the older people in God's waiting room decided to come out and watch that at the matinee and stuff. So
yeah, and then head back to the waiting room.
Yeah,
in the afternoon. Yeah, The Apostle. It's a good film. Definitely one of Duvall's finest performances as well. I mean, he's done so much stuff. I think if you look through his credits, and like many of us, occasionally you're thinking, "Oh, I need to find a good film to watch." Look no further than the 145 acting credits of Robert Duvall. There'll be some good movies there because he did have roles in a few turkeys. He was never bad in those, but I would say that the majority of the films that he did, especially his later work, was either range from above average to very good. And you've got a lot of stuff there. Did anybody see 12 Mighty Orphans?
No.
Because that's one. He had a small role in that. That's the one where they lead a team of orphans in the Great Depression to play American football, kind of a triumph over tragedy sort of sports movie. That's one of his, I think that's the third from last role that he did, because his last role was in 2022. That's not a bad film. It is a cameo role, as is Martin Sheen's. They kind of come on, do an important scene, and come off again. But it's not a bad movie.
His most recent role was 2022 at age 92.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was. I mean, if you're an actor, you should never stop acting. In my opinion, you should keep. Even Judi Dench, who now has very, very limited vision, says, I still want to work, but everybody thinks I'm past it. And I'm like, no, I'd hire her in a heartbeat if I had a budget and I could pay her.
It's just to be in good enough shape to be able to do it is wow.
Yeah. But Daryl Johnston mentions Jack Reacher, Robert Duvall as Cash.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot he was in that. Then
there was a little reunion with him and Tom Cruise from their Days of Thunder days.
Oh God, yeah. Of course, he's in Days of Thunder. He's the guy that builds the engine.
Robert Duvall, interestingly enough, had a big portion of his career was playing the elder kind of mentor to whatever young hothead in the thing. He really excelled in that in doing that in those roles. He's the older, wizened, statesman kind of.
This is his final movie. Just wonder if anyone's seen this one. The Pale Blue Eye, starring Christian Bale. So reunited from Newsies. I wonder if they had a conversation about that.
Yeah,
sure they did.
Yeah,
I've seen this, but I'm trying to remember where I saw him in it.
So this came out January 6th. It's out on Netflix now, but I don't remember seeing even a trailer for this or. Let's have a quick look, see what it's about. Read the treatment here. A world-weary detective is hired to investigate the murder of a West Point cadet. I have seen it. Absolutely have seen it. Yeah. Stymied by the cadets' code of silence, he enlists one of their own to help unravel the case. A young man the world would come to know as Edgar Allan Poe. Right. Yeah. It's set in this kind of winter in an officers' training camp with the Union sort of thing. I can't remember if it's 1830. So is that before or after the American Civil War?
After.
That's before.
Yeah. Is it before?
1830?
Yeah. 1830, the American Civil War.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you said I apologize. I heard you in my
Yeah. So it's before, right?
Yeah. That would
be
before.
Yeah, about 20 years before. Well, 30
Yeah,
years
so I seem to recall this is all set up north. It's cold. It's the Union. It's a sort of murder mystery film. Someone's going around killing officers, and he's kind of sent in as the detective to solve it. And Robert Duvall's got a walk-on role. It was fine, but it came out in January when, in England, it's fucking freezing in January, and you tend not to really want to watch films that are set in snow and ice. I'm
kind of the opposite. I don't mind watching snowy films during January.
I think the real problem with this one, because I remember it having pretty limited release, and I just checked, and it was because it was 2022, which, as you recall, cinemas weren't doing so well in the US even then because of the COVID effects. And so it was released select cinemas December 23rd, 2022, and then Netflix 2 weeks later. And so it just passed a lot of people by.
Might check it out.
It's a visually quite stunning movie, actually, but
I didn't mind it. I did like Harry Melling as Edgar Allan Poe. I thought he stole nearly every scene in that movie in that role.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. So, man, I mean,
R.I.P. Robert Duvall, you fucking legend.
Passing of a huge era. Does anybody else want to? Did I go round everybody? Did everybody get a go? I think they did.
Yeah.
Have I missed anyone? But did anyone else want to mention any films of his that we missed? maybe some of the lesser well-known stuff that he did. Might have just a
No
quick
one's
scroll.
talked about The Road yet.
Oh, no,
Stupenzolicious earlier.
Depends I mentioned
Oh,
it.
okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I blanked out.
Maybe as the father in Sling Blade, and because he's only in it for 5 minutes though, but you already get a sense of what an absolute piece of shit his father is in that movie.
I mean, if you want to see a good solid performance from him, 1998's Civil Action with John Travolta is really good, where he plays.
Oh, he plays the rival lawyer, doesn't he?
Attorney, yeah. He's really good in that. It's a good turn. He had a good couple years there. Like I said, I worked at a movie theater around that time, and so like Robert Duvall kept popping up.
I saw Civil Action at the cinema with John Travolta in the lead, and I had just read the book on which it's based because it was a true case. That came out in 1998. I thought the film was a little bit disappointing. It was okay. It was mainly good because you had heavyweight actors in there doing a great job.
You have to watch it with I think if you rewatched it, Lance, I think you might improve. You have to watch it with the eyes of just looking at the performances and you can't, because it does have a bummer ending. So it's just because it is a true story, it makes it even worse. And it's just one of those things that you just got to watch it for what the performances are, and he's great in it.
Interesting trivia here. He was roommates with Dustin Hoffman and Gene Hackman while they were all struggling stage actors in New York before any of them succeeded. Do you know what? I might write a play about that. I might write a play about Dustin Hoffman, Gene Hackman, and Robert Duvall.
Can I play Gene Hackman? Can I play Gene Hackman?
Oh, well, would need to be 3 actors in their 20s, but that would be great. That would be a great
I
play.
can look like I'm in my 20s.
What are you saying?
Yeah, what are you
20s?
Just have Cynthia Erivo play all 3 characters, dude. That'd be sick.
Yeah, she's on stage in London doing Dracula, and she's playing 38 parts or something.
She's actually well cast as fucking Dracula, if it's the Nosferatu part, anyway.
I've heard that the play is actually pretty impressive. It employs some pretty clever theatrical tricks, but anyway.
Ooh.
That's what I've heard.
How many of the clapping seals were paid for that?
That I can't verify.
Yeah,
when I heard about it, I was like, I don't care who's playing it. Like the idea that you have a one-man play of Dracula. I mean, that's how do you do that? It's insane.
Yeah, indeed. The Judge was that another?
Yeah, it was a good one.
Was it good? I'm not sure I've seen it.
It's Robert Downey Jr. comes back. His father's gotten himself. He's a famous judge, and he's gotten himself into trouble in the small town where he's still a judge at, and people are kind of going after him really hard, just because he's made so many enemies in the town. And RDJ himself is an attorney, and kind of lost his way, and he has to kind of defend his father. It's a pretty good movie. Pretty good. Another good.
I've ever heard of this. I mean, maybe it just got by me. 2014.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I saw advertised a few times, but I don't think the advertising did a good job on it. Though that's the thing; it just seemed like another generic drama when it's advertised.
Yeah.
But
I was shooting my last feature film the year this came out, and also it was the year of the premiere, so I suspect there were probably a few films that got by me. So it's a pretty significant role for Duvall in this, then.
Oh yeah.
I can't want to see that. That looks like a good one. What else? What other Duvall treats have I missed? There?
I guess in Jack Reacher as well. Shit.
Yeah. We said that. Yeah.
Crazy Heart.
I'm also oddly fond of Deep Impact. I like disaster films.
He is really the heart and soul of that film, isn't he? He is the heart and soul of Deep Impact. Another one that came out at the movie theater than when I worked.
Yeah, right. In Armageddon as well. It was.
I always like Deep Impact more than Armageddon. Even though Armageddon got the
they're
Criterion Collection.
really compared, but Deep
Yeah,
Impact is
sister
supposed to be the
movies.
more scientifically accurate.
The Sixth Day. Yeah, he was in that as well. He was like scientist.
It predicted,
Like,
Morgan Freeman is the black president. Nobody said anything. Everyone was just like, "Whoa, president's a black guy. All right, whatever, no deal." And then,
Well,
like,
'cause it's
a
more
few years
I
later.
did. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well,
I love the line where they Robert Duvall and all of them decide to like spoilers kill themselves to blow up the comet and save the world. And that one lady's like, "Well, look on the bright side. We'll all have schools named after us."
Yeah, we'll have schools and streets named after us. I do remember that. I have to go the other way. I'm more of a fan of Armageddon because Armageddon was just fucking fun, man. Cool soundtrack, lots of cool slow motion shots. You know, and Steve.
Have you read the?
Crazy.
You have Steven Spielberg and Mimi Leader making a science fiction comet disaster movie, and then Michael Bay's like, "What if we did that, but like bigger and dumber?" And it just way
What if
crazier.
we see? My problem with that was that again, they had the theater radio network that was that summer playing. I don't want to close my eyes. Aerosmith song.
Yeah,
so you have to clean up the theater, and that thing stayed in the theater for 7 months. And we'd have to clean up the theater and hear that song, and you'd be out in the lobby and you'd hear that song, and I'd be like, Jesus, man, I can't do this anymore.
So what you're saying is we should go to a karaoke night one day, and you and I are going to sing that song.
I will fight you. I will.
Don't
fight
wanna
you.
close my eyes. Aerosmith is hard to sing, dude. It's like
They are. What's this one?
What's
A
that
shot.
one- what's that one song?
Yeah, it is.
Has anyone seen this? A Shot of Glory?
No.
Robert Duvall, Annie McCoy, Kirsty Mitchell, Robert Finley. It looks like maybe a TV movie. I'm not sure.
I have seen a questionable X-rated movie named Glory Shot, but I think it's probably different.
Soccer coach must lead his Scottish team to victory in the cup, despite tensions between his star player and his daughter. The owner threatens to move the team to Dublin if they lose. Okay. Don't know if that's any good. It's got, what's the rating here? 6.2 out of 10. But it also stars Michael Keaton. So, you know, you've got some decent actors in there. Cole Hauser in there, Wings Hauser's son. So that's another one I haven't seen of his. I suspect there's quite a few movies he's done that I just haven't seen. Went under my radar.
What did you say he had a filmography of like 17,000 films or something?
175, I think it was.
Dang.
I mean, that's a good. Yeah, I mean, look at the years of his life. It's not like it appears he took 2004 off here. It's like 2003.
What a slouch.
2003, he did 3 movies. And then he took 2004 off, and he did 3 in 2005. You know, Thank You for Smoking. That's a good film if you haven't seen it.
Very underrated movie.
He was quite good as Robert E. Lee in Gods and Generals, but I have to say I preferred Martin Sheen's Robert E. Lee in Gettysburg, the first of those 2 movies. Not that Sheen's performance was better than Duvall's; they were both great. I think because Martin Sheen got to do the role first, I felt like he got the fatherly nature of the role of Robert E. Lee slightly more across than Duvall, but Duvall still did a great job. Assassination Tango, not seen that one. He was in The Sixth Day, of course. We've already talked about Gone in 60 Seconds. The Gingerbread Man, that was a bit of a naff one. I saw that at the cinema. That was not great.
Yeah, so it's not the Gary Busey one then.
No. I have seen The Man Who Captured Eichmann. That's a good TV movie. There's been about 4 different films about this subject. And he plays Eichmann in it. And he's really good. Arliss Howard is in it as well, who's another massively underrated actor. So that's worth tracking down if you haven't seen it. What else have we got? So let's see what else. Godfather Part 3 definitely suffered without Duvall being in it. Definitely. If Robert Duvall had been in Godfather Part 3, it would have elevated the whole
I've never understood the hatred for Godfather 3. I think it's a really good movie. I
like it. I think it's good. I do think it's good, but I do think it suffers from him not being in it.
You know, Robert Duvall was able to do stuff. I see 4 Christmases on there. Robert Duvall was able to like just pop in, still be Robert Duvall, but say like outlandish shit. That in 4 Christmases, he has that famous line. He's like, "Boys, I didn't want to have to tell you this when you were younger, but well, your mama's a whore."
Is that his line?
Yeah. Because the joke is that Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon have to go see their families instead of going on like a vacation trip that they usually do during that time. And Vince Vaughn is Robert Duvall's son, and they're getting a divorce. Sissy Spacek was the wife, and she's actually marrying one of Vince Vaughn's buddies from college, which is also coincidentally a guy that was in the movie Swingers with him. And it's just really funny. It's really funny. It's a fun movie. I rewatched it during this past Christmas, and I forgot how funny it was.
I highly recommend Geronimo, an American Legend, which is a Walter Hill movie. If you've not seen it, it's great.
Young Matt Damon.
Young Matt Damon. Duvall's got a pretty significant role in it. I saw this at the cinema actually. Got a very limited release in the UK.
West Studi,
West Studi, Gene Hackman as well, of course.
Yeah.
Pretty downbeat, depressing movie. Because Geronimo's ending was not fun for him. But it is a good movie. And it's a very true depiction. I felt of events. Certainly came across like that. The Plague. Has anyone seen that? The 1992 The Plague?
No.
I don't know if I saw that. I did see the Stalin movie. I rented that out on VHS. And you know what? It was really good. He's got the lead role. He plays Stalin, and he plays him as a real, just cold, evil bastard. So I felt that was a pretty true depiction. I've never seen all of Lonesome Dove. Is that worth me going back and watching that?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, as a big fan of as a fan of westerns, absolutely watch that for sure.
Is it because I got the impression that like Lonesome Dove was not an action thing?
It's not. It's like fuck, I don't know. It's like 1980s Yellowstone, kind of like that.
Okay, all right.
Better, except better.
Except better.
Well, because it's from a novel as well. So
yeah. I remember it's from the book. I need to revisit it. I'm sure it's something that's probably aged quite well, especially with the cast that you've got in there.
Yeah, the cast is incredible.
Daryl's also pointing out that he was in MASH in 1970. Secondhand Lions is another great film, actually, which if I remember rightly, he did that with Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine with a country accent. That's very interesting. And then the little boy from The Sixth Sense.
And
so
I'd forgotten until you said that he was also in the 1995 Scarlet Letter. He was Demi Moore's husband, kind of a villain.
That's right. That's a pretty underrated movie. That Scarlet Letter. I thought that was a pretty good film. But I seem to recall it got a bit. I think critics were kind of gunning for Demi Moore at that time for whatever reason. But I thought she was good. I thought it was a good film. Does anybody want to mention anything else?
If I could, I'm on my third rewatch. I know you have talked about doing this, so I'm going to I'm hoping I can nudge you along. I'm on my third rewatch of Justified. I've watched it when it originally aired. I rewatched it again a few years ago, and I'm rewatching it now again. And fuck me, man, this from top to bottom, from start to finish, this show is flawless. Every single episode, every single line of dialogue, all of the plots line up, and man, I cannot say enough good stuff about this show. I think it's the perfect TV show. And of course, yeah, go ahead.
Is it readily available?
It's on a bunch of so I have it on I downloaded it on iTunes when I was in Iraq. And then I also have my Plex Pass. It's on there, but I also have Hulu, and it's on Hulu. So if you have Disney Hulu over there in the UK, I think it's pretty easy to find.
Oh yeah, it might well be on the Disney Channel. That's possible.
Yeah, you should have it in Disney Plus, and it's also on Amazon Prime if you've got either of those, and Hulu.
Yeah.
Darth Plato says Toxic's praise is justified. I see what you did there. Good for you. Good for you. I like having this show on in the background when I'm writing, because it gets me in the vibe of these characters and gets me. We played a trivia contest on my show a few weeks ago where I had lines from Justified and then lines from my book, and I was like, which was this Wes Kelly or was this Elmore Leonard? And all it did was boost my ego, because people would either think that a line that was in Justified was mine, or mine was in Justified. And I was either way, it was just win-win for me all the way around. Like you cannot get better dialogue. And Walton Goggins in it he's so incredible.
Yeah, he steals every fucking scene.
Every scene he's in, and he and Timothy Olyphant play off of each other so well. And I mean, if I had any complaints about it at all, it's the young female Marshall. They don't give her a lot to do, and she's not a very good actress. But that's about that, and that's that's almost just me coming up with a complaint just to say I have a complaint. Everybody else is incredible in it. All of it never suffers from fatigue, and by the time you get to the final season, it wraps it up. I personally think there is no better wrap up to a TV show than the final scene in the final episode. And it's just so good.
Yeah, one thing I like about Timothy Olyphant and Walton Goggins' characters is that they're both guys that were born in the wrong century. These guys should have been born in the Wild West. And they're
flip sides to the same coin, and they respect each other and dislike each other in equal amounts. And their back and forth throughout the series is really what holds it together. Originally, his character was to be killed off. And what's amazing is that, if I can gush just a little bit more, is that the character of Raylan is only in a couple of short stories and then one novel of Elmore Leonard, and they were able to expound on it using, I believe, I'm wanting to say Elmore Leonard's son was one of the main showrunners. That might not be 100% accurate though. But I'm fairly confident Elmore had a lot to do with the TV show, and it shows. And they even pull off a little bit of a neat trick in season 5 where they bring in Carla Cugino, who there was a short-lived TV series based on her character from Out of Sight, and they had a one-run TV season with Robert Forster playing her dad and stuff, and they managed to swing her into the show in season 5, and it's great. Karen Sisko character, but yeah, just everybody's incredible in this show, and I never get enough of it. I watch it and I'll laugh out loud at some really brilliant writing. I mean, for a writer, you cannot do any better than Elmore Leonard if you write crime fiction and you like that genre, and then this show just brings it to life so brilliantly. It's really good.
Enzo, I know you had a couple of other things you wanted to mention. We've got time, so did you want to mention a couple more?
Well, yeah, like I said, I did watch. I know the EFAP guys were talking about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I watched that on Valentine's Day. That was good. I've seen it before, obviously, but it gets better every time you watch it. Yeah, and I didn't realize how much of that movie was improv by Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey and all them. But yeah, Michel Gondry, man, he's one of my favorite music video directors, back in the day, and he does a lot of great, like, practical in-camera effects that look computer animated, and I love how the movie's like, the first time you watch it, even the second and third time you watch it, it's only until like after a handful of times watching it, you really get a sense of the timeline of things as they play out. And it's all because of, Kate Winslet's hair is a big clue on, when these scenes are taking place. And even the actors were having trouble when they were making the movie. Like, is this a memory as is that we're filming, or is it lucid where we know we're in the memories and we're trying, it was difficult to tell. And Charlie Kaufman, I think it's one of his better movies. And I think it's the most recent movie to win Best Screenplay without being nominated for Best Picture, So it's quite a feat. It happens pretty rarely. But yeah, I don't know. Jim Carrey, man, he's doing like Michel Gondry was telling Jim Carrey, hey, this is a serious drama. It's a tragedy. You need to be really sad about it. Then he was telling Kate Winslet the exact opposite. This is a comedy, so go nuts. Go as big as you can. And it's funny because they're both typecast against each other, playing each other's types. Jim Carrey's doing the more nuanced, serious role, and Kate Winslet's doing the loud, heavily improv, zany role. And also, she this came out before the term manic pixie girl was coined.
Manic pixie dream girl.
Right, and they basically turned that on its head though before, because she's kind of like a parody of that cliche kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really good. It's one of those movies that you either don't like it because you haven't seen it enough, or haven't seen it, or you've seen it a bunch of times and it's awesome. I don't know. Charlie Kaufman and Michel Gondry, they also worked together previously on one of my favorite movies, Human Nature, which is where Tim Robbins is trying to teach mice table manners, and he encounters a jungle man who grew up in the woods, and he's like, oh, I could teach this guy table manners somehow, and then the guy just ends up having sex with his wife. It's a real funny movie. It's a very, very funny movie.
I think I saw that. That's the one with Patricia Arquette.
Patricia Arquette is a one of those women that's like covered in her body. Her body's covered in hair. And she shaves herself and hides her identity, her truth to her husband, Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
But Charlie Kaufman, man, he's quite a zany dude. He's got a great filmography of screenplays.
Yeah, well, at least his content is, reasonably original.
But it's all very personal. The guy, you could tell he's riddled with hang-ups and neuroses and whatever.
Toxic, I know you've got to shoot off because you've got to go to work. We've only got 7 minutes of the show left. So I wanted to thank you for coming on. And
yes, of course. Thanks for letting me gush about a show that we've all seen 100 times, but
That's all right. You can gush about it again in a couple of weeks' time.
Yay!
I will get around to watching it at some point. I absolutely will. I've also got. I'm going to have to watch The Shield again with somebody who's never seen it all the way through from start to finish, which is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. I'll let you get off, and we'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Okay. So, yes, we've just got a little bit of time left. Northern, did you have any others? Because I think you had a few choices as well.
Well, there's one, and it's probably an obvious choice, but I just love this movie, Pulp Fiction, because it's almost one of the most near-perfect movies from the 90s, and it's probably one of I still to this day think it's Tarantino's best. It's got the right amount of
it's good. I was at the first screening of this in the UK, and Tarantino was there.
Yeah, it's one of those films you can just watch 1,000 times and notice new layers every time you watch it. Like Bruce Willis decides to take the samurai katana sword to redeem himself, like he's some warrior with lost honor, and he finds his honor again. I love those kind of symbolisms, or if or the suitcase with whatever is in there has the combination 666, kind of hinting that it may be Marcellus Wallace's soul if you really do delve more into some kind of the spiritual side of it. But
what's the symbolism of the ball gags in the movie?
That I'm not into, but I will go down that rabbit hole for you. Yeah, it does. I think that's the storyline that takes the weirdest route because it kind of goes a little bit Deliverance, does it? But it's like
it's a mental twist that scene. We were all in the cinema, and then when it sort of suddenly cuts to that change of pace, I remember like several people at the same time, including me, I think, going, "What the fuck is this?" And we all
the kid comes out, and you're like, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah. And yet suddenly you're in this very weird environment. Don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't.
I think the only thing I can find the symbolism is Bruce Willis's honorless warrior sort of becoming regaining his honor, and maybe the fact that the only person who's supposed to be on the side of good is more evil than the actual bad people in it, because the bad people are kind of humanized very well.
It's not. I mean, the thing that happens without going into detail is bad enough, but then you've also got this random guy in a gimp suit added to the equation, who I think Willis lynches him, doesn't he? In the end, he breaks his neck with the cord or something that he's attached to.
Yeah, I kind of got the idea that Bruce Willis killed him by punching him, because sometimes that one punch can kill someone.
Yeah,
that's all it takes, and he's done it before, hasn't he? He did it with the other boxer.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always some other bits as well that make you sort of like see things another way. Like when just after Bruce Willis has done the discussion with Marcellus Wallace about throwing the fight, John Travolta just out of nowhere is very hostile to him, and you kind of can come to your own conclusions that he hates this guy because he's selling himself out. But at the same, or you could think maybe it's because he had that bad day that we have not seen yet, and. But there is a lot of good, sort of like symbolism on redemption, because you get Jules, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who decides to do his one last job, deliver the suitcase to his boss, and then quit the job and maybe find something else, while John Travolta decides to not believe in the divine intervention and just carry on with his job, and is later killed for it. So, there's great layers in that writing, and Tarantino and Roger Avery have really worked well on trying to flesh this whole world out. And it's, I just love these movies where you can just watch it 1,000 times and notice new things or come to new conclusions you never thought you could before.
Have you seen the Joe Rogan podcast with Roger Avery and Tarantino on it together?
I've watched his Quentin Tarantino ones a couple of times, but not the Roger Avery one properly. I think Roger Avery was talking
They come on together.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and it's the first time they've been together on a podcast. I think I don't think I've seen another one where they've both been on together, because they had that massive falling out, and he had to campaign to get his Oscar, and I remember the story at the time, and this is third hand, it's not first hand knowledge, was that he had only written the speech about the watch being hidden up the arse. That was Roger Avery's contribution to the script. Now, regardless of whether that was true or not, whether he did more than that or he didn't do more than that, I absolutely agree 100%. If he wrote, if he did a couple of lines on a rewrite, then maybe that, you don't need to share an award for that. But if you wrote a whole scene, and that whole scene as written is in the film, he absolutely should get.
I agree.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if that was true. That was just what was said at the time, and I should probably dig into it a bit more and see what. In fact, I haven't watched all of that podcast yet, so they probably talk about it together on there. But I'm glad that they are talking. Roger,
it's good that time has healed all wounds. I mean, now that you mention that scene, that might be one of the only few times you see Christopher Walken actually not acting weird and actually playing the guy like a normal guy, right up until he mentions the watch up the ass. Then
I was going to say he's not acting weird, but he's talking about anal insertions with timepieces. I mean,
but it's plausible, though, isn't it? I mean, of course he's got to have.
Well, I've never tried, so I can't verify. About that.
Yeah, but if prisoners in jail can do that with drugs and that, why can't a soldier do that to a family heirloom? while he's in a POW camp.
Indeed. I mean, thank God it wasn't a grandfather clock, eh?
I know. It's the dark humor though that I just love it, and I just love the chemistry between John Travolta and Uma Thurman, because these two could never get together. But he's thinking that she's just going to be another spoiled little trophy wife that he has to keep happy. But then he ends up really liking her, and she turns out that she is very sharp. She has a personality, and she kind of does cut through his bullshit a little bit as well. And this is such good writing as well. And you got Eric Stoltz on there as well. I mean, playing the drug dealer.
Great cast. Great.
Oh yeah.
Amanda Plummer's brilliant in it as well. Tim Roth.
Yeah, Tim Roth not doing an American accent this time like he did in Reservoir Dogs. There, you gotta help me, Larry. No, he keeps his Cockney accent, and I'm so glad he did.
Well, we're gonna start to wrap up. I'm just gonna mention some things we have coming up. So I've got a load of industry interviews coming up pretty soon. One of them in March is with DJ, music producer, and radio presenter Saya. There's already a link to this on the channel. Go to her website and check out her profile, because she's pretty incredible. And her and I met on the dance floor on Saturday. So that was quite fortuitous. And I just had a conversation with her. I didn't even know who she was. And then somebody said to me, "Hey, Lance, that girl you were speaking to, she's pretty famous." And anyway, I found her on Facebook and we had a chat. And it turns out, Anna, that she's a fellow Scandinavian, and quite rightly so, with hair like that. So needless to say, we clicked, and she's coming on, which is great. If you didn't see the interview with Carly Denham, who's a house music DJ from the UK, which I did last night, that was great fun. She was a fantastic guest as well. So looking forward to chatting to Saya in the first week of March. We'll, of course, be doing the Nielsen ratings again at the same time next week on Tuesday. What's coming up, guys, that we want to be watching? I'm curious to know if anybody's got their eye on something that's coming out soon that they want to check out. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
It's Project Hail Mary in March. I'm so looking forward to that as a big fan of the novel.
Yeah.
I hope they do it.
Don't Die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check that out. That's with Sam Rockwell.
What one was that?
Yeah.
Wait, what one was the second one you mentioned, Enzo?
Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Yeah. Okay, that's
the AI movie.
Juno Temple. That looks interesting. Yeah, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Excellent. I'm trying to get Dexter Fletcher to come on the channel at the moment. He might be warming up for the idea because, of course, he directed episodes of and was also an executive producer on The Offer, which is a fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, this is a Blu-ray about the making of The Godfather. Which, of course,
I keep forgetting about that. I love Dexter Fletcher, though. This guy is...
You've got to watch this. This is one of the best true story dramas ever made. I'm telling you, it's an absolutely fantastic show.
Yeah, what's the documentary on the making of it as well? And yeah, God, man, they went through a lot, especially with Al Pacino. I mean,
they did.
Yeah, but what's this little bastard playing a mafioso? I mean, it looks nothing like it, but then he does that scene where he kills the crooked cop and Salazzo, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, maybe he has something there.
I mean, he's the young actor that plays Pacino really nails him, and he was quite a shy individual before he did The Godfather, because he was still doing little theatre shows and stuff in New York when they cast him, and none of the producers wanted to cast him, and they really had to fight to get him in that movie. So pretty interesting. Blackberry Dreams edited Pulp Fiction in the right order. You know what? You're not the only person that did that. A friend of mine did that, and we watched it in the right order, and it was kind of nuts to see it chronologically, and the film actually works as well. So if you do re-edit it and put it chronologically, it works almost flawlessly as a movie. It's kind of bizarre.
I don't know, because there's something about the scene where you first see him in the shorts and the t-shirts walking in the bar, you're wondering, why the fuck are they wearing all that stuff?
No, I know. I mean, I'm
not
saying it. I'm not saying it's a better film. It's not. I like the film as it is, but funnily enough, it does work.
I should hope anyone watching the chronological edit has already seen it in its original form first, at least once.
Yeah.
Not only that, it makes the payoff when Honey Bunny and Pumpkin show up at the end as well. You know, because you first watch that scene, you're thinking, well, what's the point in this? Then it's like, oh shit, nice going there, Tarantino, nice one.
Apparently, there's a film coming out about Nirvana, the band. I don't know if that's a drama narrative or if that's a documentary. It's not getting a wide release, so that might be another one to look out for.
So does this actually highlight that Courtney Cox may have actually blown his head off and he didn't do it himself?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, come on. He had a long shotgun. I mean, that's come on. If I was gonna do myself in, I'd use a pistol, not a shotgun. You know, the length, bit awkward. You know.
All right. Well, thanks very much for everyone.
On that note,
channel. Yeah. on that pleasant fact of the day. Oh yes, Anna. What's your archaeological fact of the week?
I can save it for another time. We're over time a little bit, so don't worry about it.
Enzo,
I think we've already learned much about Northern just now.
Indeed. Enzo, do you have anything you want to plug real quick?
Yeah, tomorrow's movie is Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde, where Tim Daly drinks a potion and becomes Sean Young.
Okay.
It was weird. It was funny. Harvey Firestein's in it, and yeah, it was good.
I don't think anybody wants to become Sean Young.
It's a full-length audio commentary for a very silly 90s HBO original movie.
Okay. All right. Northern, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I'll be doing Face Off Friday with Rebel Rose and Blue Collar Lows. I think Inside Man will probably pop on again because he loves popping on, so why not? And I might do a little solo stream on a couple of my favourite Robert Duvall movies. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to edit my live action Batman rankings as well, but the new headset microphone I was using to record is crap, so I'm just going to go back to what I used before and re-edit it.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, thanks very much for coming on. I might do another Chew the Fat pretty soon. There's a few topics that are being juggled. We just did top 5 naval movies, Inside Man and Darth Plato. Join me for that. That was a ton of fun. Some great choices, really good discussions. I think I may also do, a top 5 Robert Duvall films. I'm tempted to do that, or just a longer video or discussion just about his career, because he certainly deserves it. It's just a question of whether I can fit it in. Thanks very much, man. I appreciate that. We love you too. Appreciate everyone in the chat. We had quite a few people watching tonight, so it's been great.
Take care, Blackberry. Take care, man.
See that support. It might be a woman, you don't know, do you? So that's it from us. Don't forget to stay in touch with the people that you love and tell them that you care about them. Keep on raving. If you're someone from the rave scene, never stop dancing. It is the secret to staying young. That's why I look so incredibly youthful.
Mad for it.
Hang with